Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to the Mud Bar Mayhem YouTube channel. So, today, well, probably for the next week, I'm going to be working on, my 66 Cadillac DeVille. So I bought this car out of Massachusetts about, I bought it for myself for my 16th birthday. So 7-8 months ago. It was bondoed and primered, and it was shittier than it is now, which it's still pretty shitty. So I did just a quick fucking down and dirty black paint job on it, just so then it would be one color. And then it has a 429. The interior was full of mouse shit, so I ended up finding a 66 Cadillac Fleetwood parts car that was off the road since 85. The car was literally gone. There was no floors. But it had good seats because this Fleetwood was a original 16,000 mile car. I took the seats out of it. I ordered new tan carpet, which this car is actually factory Marlin blue with blue leather interior. Which it did not have the blue leather interior when I had it. It had blue cloth interior. I had plans on putting the Fleetwood door panels on, but the Fleetwood rear doors are actually about this much longer because they have the rear wing window. So that didn't work out. So I have done a ton of work under the hood. I've done a transmission service, a starter, an alternator, battery, wiring, fuel lines. Sorry, the sun's really fucking with it. Carburetor, voltage regulator, alternator, belts, oil change, points, condenser, coil, plugs, wires, cap, rotor, and I can't remember what else. It took about 2 weeks of work to get all the lights working on it. And, but in my infinite wisdom, about 4 months ago, I had a wonderful idea of heating the coil springs to get the car lower. Oh yeah, and then it has a complete new old stock exhaust on it. Complete all the way back. Which I got to get it to the exhaust shop so I can get hangers made, because there's nothing to connect to at the bottom of this car. So, brakes weren't the best. I've done about 30 miles on it. The trunk pan is so rotted. I was going down the road, and the fuel tank, the fuel tank decided it no longer wanted to be in the car because the straps ripped through the rusty floor. So the fuel tank fell out. So that is now permanently fixed. Yeah, I've done a shit ton of work. I did sheet metal in the floor pans. There's way more that I can't think of. But today, well, for the next week, I don't even know if you guys can see anything. I am going to be doing the complete front end. Not a complete front end, but I have new brakes, new wheel cylinders, new sway bar end links because I snapped them off, new rubber brake lines, coils, shocks, transmission cooler lines. In the rear I have coil springs, shocks, brakes. So, in this video, which I'm not sure how long the video is going to be, or can be, I should say, but I went to the store, I got 3 cans of rubberized undercoating, and I'm just going to clean all of this up. I mean, I'm not worried about the rust. This car is never going to be mint, well, for right now. I do plan on restoring the car in this winter, but just get all the caked on grease off and then do a quick undercoating. So without no further ado, let me get started. So by no means is it right, but it is cleaned and the grease is off. Sorry that is actually the first sunny day we've had in a long time. So let's get to spraying. I know that rubberized undercoating is not as far from the best product, but I just want it on there. Okay, so this side's all done. I just hung the knuckle back up. Wheel well's done. Say it came out pretty well. Now, onto the passenger side, which I'm gonna wait on the rear because I still gotta get the rear shocks out. This side's not as rusty. I just gotta clean up. There was a little problem when I was taking apart this knuckle. These use camber bushings, but the camber bushing stuck to the ball joint. I'm not gonna fuck with it because the alignment on this car was good, and I want it to stay good, and I don't want to pay for an alignment. So it's gonna stay like that. So I just gotta clean up this, and then I can paint this side. And just like that, this side's done. It took about 1 can to do both sides, which by no means is it prepped properly and whatever. But it protects it. I know rubberized undercoating is not the best. It's actually probably the worst for a rusty car, but this car really wasn't rusty. And it's gonna take a lot for this car the frame to get rotted anyway. The frame on it is mint. There's the frame. The frame on it's mint. The body, not so much. But looks like I will be... Wow, why is that quality so shitty? Looks like I'll be doing valve cover gaskets, which I'll tell you guys what. My Ford will never cost as much money as this GM is. I love this car, but I have about triple in this car than I do in that. And that I fucking built up from the frame. Which speaking of, I will be doing the Dana 60 conversion video on that. Just right now, it's a pond under it, waiting for the rest of the snow to melt, and then that will be a video. Which, it's going to take a little while for me to get back into, you know, acting around the camera and all of that stuff, since I haven't made videos in a year. But now I guess I'll move on to the back. Probably going to go take a break. Then get the rear shocks out and undercoat the whole rear, I guess. So, see you guys then. Okay guys, so it's sometime later. Did a run to the scrap yard. 4th scrap run. Real cylinder's junk. 4th scrap run, about 7 more to do. Finally got this shock out. There's nothing. Front ones were worse. And then absolutely no rebound. So, the little thing stayed in there. I'm not going to fuck with it to try to get it out. I'm just going to put the new shock on, put the nut back on, and be done with it. But I got to just do some cleaning up to do. And then I can spray all this. And then got to get the other shock out. So I'm going to go and get this sprayed. Currently the exhaust is just held up by coat hangers. And this pipe ain't in right. But this pipe is fucking jammed in that muffler somehow. And then there was a little bit of a problem with the new old stock exhaust where I couldn't get the tailpipe up enough so the exhaust was level because the tailpipe was hitting the rear frame, so I got to do some bending of that. So yeah, I'm going to go grab the other can of undercoating and get some painting done. And a short while later, a Southern rust-free Cadillac is born. Also, the exhaust being held up by coat hangers is obviously temporary. I'm just trying to get it good enough to drive about 15 miles to an exhaust shop and have them fabricate hangers. So I just want to throw that out there. So now onto the other side to get that shock out, undercoat it, and I think that's going to do it for this video. And then when I get the parts, there will be a part 2. So let me go ahead and get that shock out. And a very short time later, this shock is out. Nothing. No resistance and no rebound. So, yep. Oh no, the car is totaled. It has a hole in the frame because 60s GM quality control sucked, and that's a factory hole in the weld. So, I wonder if this is what you consider a full floater rear axle. So, now I just gotta clean up this side. Yeah, it's got some slight body work that needs to be done. So I'm gonna get this side done, cleaned up, undercoated. It appears that somebody just did rear brakes on this thing. I'm not saying recently, but before it was parked. Yeah, those look pretty new. I mean, that side's pretty worn. But the wheel cylinders are junk. So, but I ordered new ones. Might as well just do them. And that's actually a new wheel cylinder too. Like I said, I have all new parts coming. So, yeah, let me just get this undercoated real quick. And this side is done. And then I did back there. Because this is supposed to have a rear filler panel. I have the rear filler panel, but when I had it towed up to my shop, I had to push it back in. Well, I had to push it in the babies. At the time, it had a bad starter. And the pushing steering screwed up, and the chain was too short, and it bent this bumper in a little bit, so I can't get the filler panel in. And then I have the little filler panels here, but they're missing the inside clips that's supposed to go into them bolt holes. So I kind of just went inside, painted everything black so it doesn't look as bad without it. I painted the rear frame back here. I just used the leftover. What I had left, I bought 3 cans. And then I did some frame rail up there. I did this rust. So, that is going to be it for this video. This is Cadillac new suspension part 1, I guess. I'm going to do part 2 when the new parts come, which today is February the 27th. The parts should be here the end of this week. Today's Tuesday. So the parts should be here at the end of this week, and then I can get them on. I can do the video. So hopefully I'm going to get this video posted tonight. So I will see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.